Well, hello everyone. Welcome to a new video interview here at Shogunet Gaming News. And today we'll have the opportunity to have the voice from one of the most relevant and leading providers for the gaming industry worldwide, both land-based and online, which is IGT. And for that, we're joined by Michael Ratner. He's the Director of Product Management and Systems Commercialization. So welcome, Michael. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you.
Great. Well, so IGT started 2021 with a very relevant news with the approval from the Nevada regulators to your Resort wallet, the card cashless module. So I was hoping that you could deliver some further details and insights into this new product and which specific changes it could bring to the global land-based industry.
Yeah, sure. Getting the Nevada approval was really a milestone for us. It's been a product of ours for many years now. In fact, carded cashless, just the way of doing cashless wagering using your traditional plastic player's card and putting funds on deposit at maybe the casino cash desk, or funding the cashless wagering account through a slot machine. That's been a product in our portfolio for I can't tell you how many years, but and it's always been sitting in the background because Tito has always been there. Tito is a form of cashless wagering, and I think players are just used to the fact that they can get a ticket and put that into the next machine. But this product, as I mentioned, was sitting in the background for many years, and then all of a sudden COVID happened. COVID, I think, exposed the need to have contactless, and I think that's the key word here is contactless, where customers can transfer funds in and out of their cashless wagering account without the need of touching anything. Or at least touching anything foreign. If it's in your possession, and you know about it, like a player's card or stuff like that. But typically, players don't want to touch cash and they don't want to touch tickets and that kind of stuff. So that really brought it into the fore. And we then submitted it to the Nevada Gaming Commission for approval, and we had to undergo a field trial, and they wanted to make sure that everything was legitimate and everything was being done according to the regulations. And I think the other key word here is cashless wagering account. That one thing that exists in the casino management system is the regulated part of cashless wagering. So we not only got the carded cashless module of Resort Wallet approved, we also got the cashless wagering account. And that, I think, is the most important part here, because by extension, cashless wagering account can then be moved into the carded cashless, where people are using their phones to transfer money in and out of a slot machine. But it's all using the same one singular cashless wagering account. And for us, there was a big milestone. We regard the Nevada Gaming Commission standards for gaming regulations as the gold standard. And a lot of other regulators around the world look to the Nevada Gaming Commission for guidance, acceptance of new technology, and use them as a kind of a yardstick or a barometer of, is this technology legitimate? Has anybody else approved it? Yes, Nevada has approved it. Well, okay, that gives me a sense of confidence. So now other regulators are looking at this, and now that we have the Nevada Gaming Commission approval, this is kind of like a gold star for us. In terms of in terms of the product itself, Resort Wallet, it consists of two components: the carded cashless and the cardless cashless that I mentioned earlier, and those are both internal funding mechanisms of the cashless wagering account. So, for example, if you walked into the casino and deposited some money across the cash desk and deposited this into your cashless wagering account, that would be considered closed loop, meaning you're using your own money to fund your cashless wagering account. You can now go to a slot machine and transfer funds up and down, in and out of your cashless wagering account. but that's not accessing any external funding. The IGT Pay part of this resort wallet ecosystem allows you to now access an external funding source, maybe like a bank account, a credit card, an e-wallet account. And this for us is what we regard as the holy grail, the ability for players to now decide to go to a casino and not have to withdraw cash to go to the casino, not having to be worried about do I have enough money on me? Do I need to go to an ATM to withdraw money? And typically those ATMs charge, pretty high fees to access your money. This now allows you to do it from home. You can actually go on your app, transfer money from your bank account directly into your cashless wagering account, and arrive at the casino and be ready to either use your plastic card or your phone to transfer those funds in and out of your cashless wagering account.
Well, I think we have a very clear picture of what the product is bringing to the table now. So, well, I think we all want to know when can we expect to see this technology live in the Las Vegas gaming floors and maybe other Nevada jurisdictions, and if you already have any kind of deal in place with operators to debut this product. What is the feedback so far from your partners?
Yeah, so we as I mentioned, we got the approval for cashless wagering at one of our properties here in Las Vegas, and in fact, that product is still installed at the product. So we consider that live and in production. And then we have a number of other properties here in Las Vegas that are considering, or in fact not considering, they have committed to taking the Resort Wallet product in one form or another, including IGT Pay. So in terms of future deployments, I would say that in the next quarter, maybe quarter and a half, you will see quite a few deployments here in Las Vegas. But I need to mention that this product is live already throughout the world. We have a number of locations throughout the world, especially in Asia Pacific, that have been doing carded cashless for many, many years. So it's not like it's a brand new product. People are using it already. Here in the United States, we have Resorts World Catskills. When they opened up with when they reopened after the COVID shutdown, they decided to go with carded cashless right away. So they did a floor-wide deployment of carded cashless. But for the regulators and the customers, the casino operators here in the States, people understand that there's a need for it, and COVID is certainly pushing that. But I think as people realize that, this is how it's going to be. People walk out of the casino to go and buy a cup of coffee with their phone. But then they walk back into the casino and it's like they're back in 1985 and they have to use bills and tickets and all this kind of old-fashioned funding of slot machines. Once people understand that this is legitimate, this is safe, this is advanced technology for a casino environment, I think the adoption rate is going to dramatically increase.
Well, yeah, I totally agree with that. And maybe you can share some other goals and expectations, having all this in consideration in terms of performance and expansion this year, including, the role of the pandemic and the pent-up demand. Everyone is talking about the pent-up demand that we'll see. Recently, we heard a speech from Bill Miller from AGA who is very positive about the second half of the year regarding pent-up demand, and including Las Vegas, of course, once travel restrictions start to get a little softened. So what are your expectations in that regard for this year, especially in the second half of the year, for this product in particular?
The funny thing about our business is people are standing by to see who else is doing this. Is my competitor down the road doing something different that I should be doing today? Or is my competitor have a new bonusing module that is maybe attracting more players to their casino? And the same goes with cashless. I think a lot of people are like, you know what? I think this cashless thing has got some opportunities, but I'm not quite sure how my players are going to adapt to it. So everyone is watching everyone else, and it just takes one or two people to do this. And I apologize for the dog barking in the background
It's
there.
okay. Yeah,
Um,
we're used to it.
yeah. I think, once people start adopting this and they see other people using it, I think it's going to be a landslide of adoption. It's like the old saying, lemmings over the cliff. As soon as one goes, they all go. And I think the pent up demand here is pretty obvious. I think that the everyone is watching everyone else, as I said. And for us, I think it's just a case of convincing the operators that this is safe technology, convincing the players that this is easy to use. And also, there's one other important thing here. This particular product that we're talking about here is not something that can be simply installed and left alone. It definitely needs the help of the casino operator to educate their player base, to educate their staff about how to use it. There's a case study that was done here with a payments technology with Starbucks. They released a new app on the phone, and the adoption rate was pretty flat. People weren't taking to this. They didn't understand it fully. And then Starbucks got behind it with a bunch of marketing dollars. They started to promote it on a very, very frequent basis. They, in fact, went so far as to say that if you buy your coffee through the app, buy two, your next one is free. It was that kind of incentive building that really started to create this wave of demand and wave of acceptance, that really started to create this acceptance rate. So for us, we are partnering with our casino operators to make sure that if they are thinking about taking this technology, that they understand that there is a need, to get behind the product and to also invest in the product by marketing, promotions, education, and so forth.
Right. Well, that's very clear. I was thinking, well, you already mentioned something about how this is already live in many other jurisdictions across the world, in Asia, for example. But I don't know if you can elaborate on the work you're undertaking with other regulators. I don't know if in the U.S. and other states in the U.S. Uh, to introduce this cashless technology, not only this module, maybe the other models as well, and your timelines, expected timelines for this to have a massive rollout in the US.
Yeah. Um, the regulators are obviously a very key element here into getting any product approved, whether it's cashless or whether it's a new bonusing application or a new module that we're proposing. I mean, you can see behind me on the screen here the various modules that we have available in the IGT Advantage product portfolio. And if we're adding any new product to this, we have to get the regulators on board. We have to get the regulators to understand what this new technology is all about, and specifically about cashless. Obviously, there's a lot of security concerns involved. The transfer of money from one account to the next. Is there an audit trail? If there is some action going on that might be illegal, like money laundering and all those kinds of things, regulators need to understand that this is safe and secure technology. And from our part, I mentioned, the operator's part on adopting this technology. From our part as the manufacturer and the creator of this technology, we in turn also have to understand that we have to educate the regulators. We have to expose them to the technology, let them understand it, let them touch it, feel it, pull it apart, break it in some cases. And we have embarked on educational series with our regulator partners. We invite them to roundtables where they can be exposed to the product. We obviously, like everyone else, provide them the technology in their laboratories where they can test it and stress test it. So, there obviously is on our part the need to proliferate this technology across the United States. But at the same time, as the industry such as yourselves, YogaNet and other journalists are picking up on the story, this kind of a groundswell is really also helping. So thank you very much for allowing us the platform to speak about this, because this is now going to be seen by many other people, and it's going to be it's going to grow organically, and it's going to grow a groundswell. So this really also helps the adoption of the technology.
Great. Well, I think you have already covered all the main topics about this technology, but if you like to finish off with some general comments or your personal outlooks for not this particular product, but cashless technology or touchless technology in general in the gaming industry for 2021, it will be very helpful.
Yeah, we are very, very excited about this technology. As I said, it's existed in our portfolio for quite a while. We introduced the cardless connect, the ability for your phone to connect to the slot machine via low energy Bluetooth. That's fairly new. And the actual transfer of funds between the phone and the cashless wagering account, that's also quite new. But as I said, this technology has been around for a while. But we're very, very excited about it. We love the fact that unfortunately it took a pandemic to expose the need for this, but it's about time this happened in our industry. As I said, people are transacting on their phones all the time. They tap and going at retail stores. They're buying coffee with their phones, for goodness sakes. Why should they not be able to also now transact with a gaming device to transfer funds back and forth in a very safe and secure way? The other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is that, listen, this is not going to replace cash. People will always use cash. People are going to pull a $20 bill out their back pocket and stick it in the slot machine, even though they might have funds in their cashless wagering account. People just won't adopt this technology. People are still fearful about internet banking. There's still people that will go to a bank to do their banking transactions, even though there is a very sophisticated banking technology that they can use. People will still use cash, is my point. So we see the adoption rate of cashless technology in the United States as a slow ramp up. And I think the more people, my point earlier, the more people who start using it, other casinos also start seeing that. And then they think, well, okay, if this person's using it or this property is using it, then it must be working, right? And the other thing is that once my competitor starts using it, and then their customers, come to my casino and they're like, do you have cashless wagering? And we're like, no, we don't. Okay, well, bye. See you later, because you guys are so far behind the technology curve. So it's this slow adoption, and eventually it just gets so popular that it's just going to take off. But again, it's not going to replace cash. It's going to be a supplement to the gaming cash and tickets and all that kind of stuff. But we're really excited. We're behind this 100%, and this is a major initiative for us.
Right, Michael. Well, thank you very much for all these interesting topics and insights from you today at Shogonet, and of course, we'll be following up on this technology. We're covering at Shogonet pretty much every day with new innovations from IGT and cashless technology in general. So thank you very much, and we look forward to speaking with you again about how this is rolling out in the US.
My pleasure, and thank you for your time today. It was really interesting, and love the opportunity to talk about it. You can see I'm very passionate about it. And,
yeah, I can tell.
I just love talking about it. So thank you for this opportunity.
Of course. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Have a nice day.